around the Elmira area, but that's not until 6 o'clock this evening, Kurt. So again, it's going to be, unfortunately, a long afternoon that we have to keep our guard up. Even though things are not happening right now in the Elmira area, conditions will be favorable for supercell thunderstorms into early this evening, and then after sunset, it looks like conditions will begin to quiet down a little bit. But you can see on our expected future track here how active the radar could be as we head through the late afternoon and early evening hours.
We have an update to that tornado warning that was set to expire at 2:15 p.m. They actually extended it
till 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. So again, this is one of those types of situations where we keep getting updated information. So that's why we're staying on the air with extended coverage. You may have heard us mention a tornado watch. That is for the entire viewing area. Ithaca, Watkins Glen, Horseheads, Elmira Heights, Elmira, Southport, Wellsburg, Mansfield, Wellsboro, Troy, Canton, Towanda, Athens, Waverly, Sayre, and every point in between. That's where we're looking at the conditions favorable for tornado development. And we were looking at that tornado warning that is in effect across portion of the viewing area. That's when action must be taken immediately. And a tornado emergency would mean that there's actually a long-track tornado on the ground. We don't have any emergencies in effect, but a tornado warning has been issued for portion of the viewing area. And again, the best place to be would be underground or an interior room away from windows. So let's recap all this information again and take it from the top. I just mentioned to you where the watch is in effect. I'm going to go in front of the weather maps here and kind of explain what's going on here. So it's not just our local viewing area. It's all the way south towards Harrisburg and all the way up into portions of New England. That's where conditions are favorable for tornado development. Where are the warnings in effect right now? Where you see it flashing on your screen, that means another warning has been issued or it's been updated. So this is an evolving fluid situation here. You can see the warnings in effect for northern sections of Steuben County. So that's an update from just a couple minutes ago. And we're going to take a closer look on the radar here for you in just a second. I already mentioned the one over the southwestern corner of Steuben County and also the one over northeastern Potter County. So we'll go on a bit of a tour here for you. There's the latest warning until 3 o'clock now, Steuben and Yates County. So this has been extended a bit. So this includes areas up along 390, Cohocton, all the way down through Avoca, over towards Urbana, and then Prattsburg, and areas in between. So this tornado warning in effect until 3 o'clock. What does that mean? It means conditions are favorable for a tornado to form. It's almost imminent. We're already seeing signs of rotation on radar. So if you live in this red shaded area, anywhere from Avoca up through Cohocton, Prattsburg, or Urbana, you need to be in your safe place right now because there could be a tornado headed your way. Another tornado warning in effect for southwestern Steuben County until 2:45, just north of Woodhull, over towards the Cameron area. And then we also have some more warnings farther to the north. But again, this will likely fill in areas farther to the east. So you may be watching in Elmira right now and say, okay, why are you breaking into programming? Because there's nothing happening outside my house right now. Well, that doesn't mean that nothing is happening across other portions of the viewing area that we cover. And again, unfortunately, it looks like what's happening over Steuben County will likely happen over Chemung County over the next hour or two, just because the conditions are so favorable for spin-ups, for rotation. Again, it's very rare that we see atmospheric conditions the way they are this afternoon. Usually there may be an isolated tornado warning here or there, but look how many are in effect right now. It just goes to show you that any thunderstorm that develops this afternoon could rotate. And again, it's hard to pinpoint exactly where that rotation may come to the ground as a tornado. And that's why they issue these tornado warnings based on rotation from radar. As of right now, there's no confirmation of an actual tornado on the ground, but we need to treat these warnings as if there were a tornado on the ground, because when the Doppler radar sees the spin in the thunderstorm, again, a tornado could be imminent. All of these storms associated with a line, and look over the last hour how it's beginning to fill in even more, and it extends all the way down Route 99 here, all the way down south of State College, and these are lifting off towards the north and east. Katie?
And Joe, I want to mention, you looking at your radar right now, even back towards Erie County, we are starting to see development out there, severe thunderstorms, even tornado warnings.
Right.
Is this going to impact us, I would say, going into the later parts of the evening?
We're going to have to remain on guard until 9 o'clock tonight. That's when the watch is in effect, until 9 o'clock tonight. That's a good point, Katie, because it's not just this initial line. What's likely happening, I mentioned a cold front that's moving in from the west. This is likely a prefrontal trough, and we usually get some lift in the atmosphere out ahead of an approaching cold front. The cold front itself is probably still yet to clear Erie, Pennsylvania, because we still have thunderstorms all the way out into that direction. So we're going to be in a ripe environment moving forward through the rest of the afternoon for these thunderstorms, which are severe and possible tornadoes.
And I want to mention, too, if you guys can safely do so ahead of these storms and take pictures of these clouds, or report to us what you are seeing where you live, especially in western portions of Steuben County. We would love to hear that if you can do so safely.
We have people monitoring our social media outlets right now. Kurt Martone monitoring that.
We actually have...
Speaking of, somebody asking about the Bath area, you see they're in between two tornado warnings. Does that mean they're safe? Or
okay, Katie, why don't you zoom in on the Bath area? That's a great question, because obviously that's a populated area.
And actually, I want to cut in really quick.
Go
Our
ahead, Katie.
NWS Binghamton just mentioned in our chat, we are seeing radar rotation in the town of Southern Wayland, northwestern Steuben County, heading northeast towards the town of Cohocton. So
that's the cell. Because there's a couple different cells here. So let's talk about this one first, the one near Greenwood, where you're at. And again, that's moving off towards the north and east. I will say a good chunk of this tornado warning, there's not too much happening south of Cameron, but if you can scroll up just a little bit, Katie, towards Bath, I would say, even though technically you are not in the tornado warning, Bath, get ready for this ominous cell that's moving in from the south and west. It's near the Canisteo area right now, moving off towards the north and east at about 30 miles an hour. Katie, if you could take that tool to time out it's already set to 30 miles an hour. If you could hone in on that cell and drag it up to the north and east, up towards Bath, we could put a timestamp on it for you. I'll step out of the shot and take care of that. Let me take a look here.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's get that, and we'll go, because that is a good question about the Bath area here, and we'll go up there. And there you go. So there's your time frame about that cell that's headed your way. South Canisteo, again, right about now, it's passing through your region. Adrian, we're talking about, some of these are very small community, Browns Crossing, Towelsville, Buck Settlement, Cross Corners. But
It
then
looks
you
like
go,
we're
there's
getting an
Bath at
update to the
253,
tornado
and we're
warning.
seeing the severe thunderstorm that'll be up towards the Bath area at 253. So if you're watching from there, that's when you can expect that severe thunderstorm with potentially some rotation. And what will likely happen is perhaps some of these tornado warnings being extended. I can see up to the north reissuing the tornado warning, Katie. So if you can go up
I'm
there.
going to scroll up to that one real quick. Once I can.
That's the one that's centered over Cohocton. Okay, I'll step out of the screen and help you out here. You have to just put it under the, there you go. And there we go.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to read this one off. So at 2:44 p.m. Eastern Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Cohocton, or 11 miles southeast of Dansville. This goes until 3 p.m. for west central Yates and northwestern Steuben counties. This, again, is a dangerous storm. We'll be near Cohocton in the next 5 minutes. Prattsburg, around 2:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, going into this afternoon. So we are going to continue to monitor the situation. Flying debris, again, will be possible as radar is indicating rotation with this cell. We're going to continue to be on the air until 3 p.m. A tornado warning in effect for parts of Steuben County. The one right now we're looking at 2:45 p.m. in parts of Steuben. The one that just got updated is for northern portions of Steuben County and even into Yates County. That's out right now to the south of Dansville. I'm gonna have you zoom in on that updated one if you can, Joe, really quick.
This
By
one?
chance, yep, the one that just got reissued until 3 p.m. Let's take a closer look at that. So, yep, so this one actually heading up towards, currently moving through Cohocton, heading towards Naples. We're going to continue to see this head to the north and east as well as we go into the afternoon hours.
You know what? With these cells evolving, the National Weather Service does their best job to issue what we call these polygons, and they are the shapes here of where a tornado warning is currently in effect. But you can clearly see, as we take a look at this, that the Prattsburgh area will likely miss out on this cell. They're going to have to redraw the polygon because you can see the direction of this cell kind of takes it up towards the Naples area. That's not to say you better let your guard down in Prattsburgh, but it just goes to show you that sometimes these cells, these supercell thunderstorms, kind of have a mind of their own, if you will, and they're going to do what they want to do. And this one is starting to move a little bit more north than east. So again, from Cohocton up towards Naples, that's where I would be most concerned with at least this cell right there. And thank you for putting the timestamp on it for you. So we're talking Atlanta, North Cohocton, and Ingleside. That's where the biggest threat is right now with that tornadic thunderstorm.
Okay.
And that severe tornado warning continues until 3 o'clock for
And then
that
we
area.
have another one being reissued, it looks like, down in Potter County. This one's still going until 3 p.m.
So if you're watching from Westfield, it's just off to your west right now. So Westfield is western areas of Tioga County. We're still talking northeastern areas of Potter County, but that's lifting to the northeast up towards Brookfield and eventually up towards the Woodhull area as we head into Steuben County. So again, there will likely be additional warnings being issued by the National Weather Service. Again, it's pretty quiet so far. Ithaca over towards the Elmira area, most of Tioga County in the northern tier, and Bradford County as well. But that's not to say that you won't get in on the action later tonight. Not that you want to, but it's all pushing off towards the east. Look at all these tornado warnings. How often do you see this in our region of the country? Not very often. This is an unprecedented environment, if you will. And it's not very often that you see so many tornado warnings being issued, but it's almost from Rochester all the way down through the Bath area and even into Potter County in the northern tier. And again, these cells, if anything, look like they're strengthening. And each one of these cells has the potential of producing rotation.
Joe, I'm going to have you go back if you can really quick. We actually just got a tornado warning for northern portions of Yates County.
Northern
Just
Yates County. Okay, you
issued-
can scroll up.
Yep, right here, just on the corner, as you can see. I'm printing that one out for you as we speak.
So near Middlesex. And again, what we're looking at here is the velocity. I know we're kind of moving the graphics around a lot for you, but again, when we're talking velocity, we're measuring wind and not precipitation with this graphic. And when you see the green and the red together, that means we have rotation being detected. And again, that's right around Middlesex, so you have the latest warning here. And let's see, that's in effect until
That's
3
not
o'clock.
the right one. I'm
3
printing
o'clock.
off the other one. That was
Okay.
another one that we had issued in the last,
hard
I
to
would say,
keep-
5 minutes. So we are getting tornado warnings coming out a lot. Here you go, Joe. Here's the new one.
And can you see if we stop programming, if we went back to regular programming, then we'd have to break in a second
And also,
again later
I
because
wanna-
there's more and more warnings being issued over and over
I'm going
again.
to let people know we also are going to be having meteorologist Connor Friedhoff join us out here as well as we continue
He's going to
stay on
join the
air.
party, right? We got everyone in studio right now for this situation that we're monitoring. Northwestern Yates County. So this is what we got here on the screen near Middlesex. And at National Weather Service saying at 2:27, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Vine Valley or just south of Canandaigua. That's moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. So this likely out of our viewing area very shortly. This is in northwestern Yates County. Let's go. Kurt, you got something?
Yeah, Joe, I want to go back to that system we're tracking in Bath, getting a report in that they're getting some pretty intense thunder and pretty nasty lightning out there.
Yeah, so remember, we actually just said this. I actually said this when I was just on a little bit ago. When you see lightning, usually what do you hear? Thunder. So what does thunder mean? Thunder roars, you go indoors. That's what we always say here in the first warning weather team. Again, we are keeping your eyes, and if you are just joining us, we have numerous tornado warnings out, and most of them go until 3 p.m. this afternoon for much of Steuben County and even up into Yates County. We are expecting this strong to severe thunderstorm threat to continue as we progress on throughout the afternoon. We have Kurt Martone in studio. I'm here, Chief Meteorologist Joe Veras, as well as Meteorologist Connor Freithoff. We're going to keep you updated throughout the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, one of our viewers asking, is this the remnants of Beryl that we're dealing with?
Yes, this in fact is the remnants of Beryl, and that's what's providing a lot of this instability you are seeing in the atmosphere. You probably felt it out there between the humidity, the temperatures getting into the 80s and 90s. It's definitely a heat wave out there, or just you can feel the heat in general. And that's one of the ingredients we need to create some severe weather going into the afternoon. Now we have that line, if we can actually take the graphics really quickly, we have that line expanding all the way up from Rochester down past Williamsport. I want to zoom right into those warnings though that are currently in western portions of Steuben County and even a couple in Yates County. So we are first off, let's start with that tornado warning in Potter County. That one goes until 3 p.m. We are going to monitor that because that is crossing over into Steuben County, so we actually might see that warning extended there. We have another tornado warning in Steuben County. This one goes for another 13 minutes until this one is set to expire or be extended. Let's take a look at where that is impacting. If we can zoom in right now, it's just passing to the north of Woodhall down there and heading towards the Bath area. So I would say for now it's starting to exit your region, but Bath, Wheeler for sure, you could be seeing this one heading towards you. Let's go up to the next one. This one currently working its way just to the south and west of Naples. So it's kind of right on the border of entering Yates County. So again, we might see this one extended as well up into Yates County as we look ahead. And then we have this one on the northwestern portion of Yates County. This one goes again until 2:45 p.m. So most of these picking up rotation on radar. Again, if you can do so safely and you can get outside, again, this is if you can do it safely and you have anything to report, whether it's in our comments or sending us messages on Facebook, we would love to hear from you guys if you can do so safely. And you want to have anything to add?
What I'm going to do here is just put like a general timestamp on everything because I'm going to do I'm going to pull all these storms right along here.
Thank you, Joe.
And grab up towards the north and east, okay? And it's moving about 30 miles an
Okay.
hour. So, I mean, it's going to be a while before it reaches some of these communities, but this is what we're thinking.
So 2:45 p.m. We're looking at Bath, 3 o'clock Penyan, Waterloo 3:12, Wellsboro 3:21, Corning 3:39. So again, we're starting to approach that evening commute, or when kids are coming home from summer camps and such like that. 3:55 Montour Falls, 4:15 Elmira. So just be on the lookout in the next hour and a half. You could start to see some of these cells heading towards you.
Yeah, a lot of people asking us about the future of these storms, so this is very helpful to them. I want to mention, if you guys are watching us on TV or online on Facebook, if you have any questions you want to ask us, for any information you want to throw out there that you're seeing on the ground, please go to WENY TV on Facebook. You can pull up our live stream. You can type questions. For now, I'm going to send it over to meteorologist Connor Freithoff with an update on these storms. Connor?
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. And as we're still tracking these storms, some of them showing a little bit of rotation here, especially this warning here in southwestern Steuben County. You can see this area of rotation. Of course, you have this bright green color meeting with this brighter red color. That's an indication of a rotating thunderstorm. So the mesocyclone still showing signs that there is rotation with this storm, and it's moving towards Cameron. Here, that's the edge of the warning here, and this expires at 2:45 unless it will be extended. So that is what we are watching mainly right here. This is the velocity picture. Once again, red and green showing differing wind directions. That's how we can tell if there is rotation with a thunderstorm. And clearly here, showing here on the radar, we do have this storm again moving to the northeast. This is just one of the one of the tornado warnings that we've been dealing with. Of course, this is moving again more towards Bath, looking like it's going to pass towards the southern edge of Bath as we see these storms continue to track here moving to the east, and we'll get some timing here. So Cameron, 2:53 p.m. South Cameron 250. So right now, this is the time now. If you're living in Cameron, you're living in the path of this cell. This is the time to, of course, develop a plan, get to the lowest level of your home, preferably a basement. If you do not have a basement that you can go to, central location on the lowest level of your home, preferably away from exterior walls and windows, prevent any debris from potentially entering the home.
Question for both of you, actually, while you guys are over there. Say someone's on one of these highways, traveling home from picking up their kids from summer camp, heading home from work. What should they do in that case?
Well, my best advice is if you don't have to be traveling this afternoon, I certainly wouldn't, because the last place you want to be is out in your car or traveling somewhere when we have all these severe thunderstorms around. But it's really a difficult situation to be in. I would stay in the car and just hunker down if there was a tornado around. I mean, that'll offer some kind of protection. In a worst case scenario, maybe you abandon your vehicle and go into a ditch. But again, hopefully that's not a situation that we're going to have to worry about. The reason why I stepped in the screen here, Connor, is because you're mentioning this thunderstorm that's producing rotation, and we're monitoring the chat rooms from the National Weather Service. So they're obviously one of our core partners here, and they're mentioning that there is intense rotation in this cell that you were just mentioning. So we really we don't have complete confirmation that there could be a tornado on the ground right here, but this rotation just to the east of Greenwood and to the south and west of Cameron is looking very ominous, and the folks at the National Weather Service certainly agreeing with that, saying that there's very intense rotation, and it's not that often that you see that bright green next to the red shading coloring.
Yeah, that's the major concern here, is you have that correlation between those two colors just meeting up together, and that's just the biggest indication that we have this tight rotation that could spawn a funnel cloud or a tornado on the ground.
That's right.
I have a question for both of you. We're checking the chat. People are asking about the Corning-Addison area. So this system looking to pass, again, I'm looking at you guys, the Greenwood, Shenango area, and even Woodhull area. Connor, or I guess you walked out, but yeah, we are tracking that right now. It is heading to the northeast. Joe, can we get some times on there once again? I want to take that thing again.
Sure, I'm going to go back to this. So this is the traditional radar, what we're typically used to seeing, and I'll zoom in so you can see Corning on the map. So Corning is right there. The thing is, these storms are not, they're moving more to the northeast than they are to the east. So areas like Corning and Elmira, we'll put a timestamp on it for you here in just a second, but you can see that it's more for the folks up towards Bath and say up towards the Prattsburgh area where these cells are going. We have to look south of Westfield, and there are more storms developing here, but this is likely the cells near Westfield, or those would be more likely the ones that head towards Corning. So, Katie, if you could put a track on there, they're moving off to the north and east at about 30 miles an hour. And if you extend it up towards Corning, you could see, well, that would place it in the Caton area by 3:42. So that's about an hour from now. So again, it's going to take, this is taking its time moving across our viewing area. They're moving more to the northeast as they are to the east. But Westfield, Cowanesque, Deerfield, Elkland, Nelson, Tuscarora, Lindley, Caton, all of you eventually will likely get in on the severe weather, even though it's not imminent right now. Where we are looking at some rotation still is northeastern areas of Potter County, and we're also looking at some rotation. We haven't talked about this cell recently. If you can zoom in a little bit on this cell, that's over northwestern Steuben County. So we're right between Cohocton and Prattsburgh, and that's where we're getting rotation here on radar. Again, the reds and the greens close together, and then some just to the south and west of Naples as well. And if you could put this in animation, if you could loop it for me, Connor, and we can kind of see the direction of where these are going. And they're moving off towards the east or northeast. So again, in and around the Prattsburgh area, you are under that tornado warning until 3 o'clock. You need to stay in your safe area until that cell passes. But unfortunately, there still may be more storms behind this one, as we're tracking a system that goes all the way back into western New York and western areas of Pennsylvania. So as this line that we're tracking here works its way eastbound, we're seeing a lot of reds and greens close together. One significant rotation not far from the Jasper area, and then another one here between Cohocton and Prattsburg, and then one up towards Yates County. And again, this will continue to spread eastward across the rest of the viewing area as we progress through the afternoon. Let's check in on current conditions. In Elmira, we're still 92 degrees, so you're ahead of all these thunderstorms. But it's the fuel. It's the fuel for these thunderstorms. They're going into a rich environment. So as these storms push eastbound, they're going to hold together. They're going to sustain themselves for several more hours because of these conditions that are in place. 92 degrees in Elmira, 74-degree dew point, which is unheard of. It's not very
It's
common
feeling
for us.
tropical, and again, this is due to the remnants of Beryl that made its way through parts of Texas and all the way up to us.
And I mentioned with these ripe conditions, not only do we have the heat and humidity, but we have the directional wind shear in place, and that could give us supercell thunderstorms. And our graphics here still showing favorable conditions for supercell thunderstorms. Supercell thunderstorms, thunderstorms with rotating updrafts, and you get intense thunderstorms. Those are intense thunderstorms, ones that could have large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. And we've already seen that play out over and over again west of Elmira so far this afternoon. But in the Elmira area and points east, it won't be until closer late afternoon, early evening, that conditions will remain favorable for these supercell thunderstorms. But after sunset, then you see the green on the map, and the threat is low, and it'll drop even more through the overnight period. So our future track moving forward, this is a bit of a forecast for you, and then we'll take another live look at where all the ongoing warnings are in effect. But this is 5 o'clock, and you can see these thunderstorms will still be around, passing through the Elmira area. There may be, this is trying to show a bit of a squall line, a line development, and sometimes on those lines too, you get little notches. They look like a backwards comma or something like that. And in those notches, that's where you get the rotation. So even though the individual discrete cells typically are more likely to produce tornadoes, you can still get tornadoes with more of a squall line that comes through. By the way, this is 7 o'clock tonight. We're not even at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we're talking 7 o'clock tonight that these storms could still potentially be passing through our region, and then after that, it starts to clear out. So again, we still have, unfortunately, a ways to go. I know we've talked about this already, a watch, a warning, emergency. Everyone in our viewing area under the watch, that means conditions are favorable. Tornado may not be happening right now, but conditions are favorable, and when warnings are issued, that's when you need to take action. Where do you go? You go to your basement or interior room of your home to stay safe if a warning is issued for your area, and likely your phone will be going off if you fall under one of those tornado warnings.
And Joe, we just got another tornado warning for central Steuben County in central New York. This is at 2:43. Another severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Jasper, 13 miles southeast of Hornell, moving it northeast at 30 miles per hour. Again, this is radar indicated. And this storm will be near Cameron and West Cameron around 2:50 p.m., Thurston around 3 p.m., Savona until around 3:05, and Campbell around 3:10 p.m. Again, this goes until 3:30 p.m., so we are going to continue with our extended coverage now into 3:30 p.m.
Well, and to be honest with you, it's probably going to continue into this evening because it's just going to play over and over again as we move eastbound. So that is why we are staying on air for extended coverage, because more communities are being put under these tornado warnings, and our number one priority is not to show regularly scheduled program. Our number one priority is to keep you and your family safe. And when we have multiple tornado warnings in effect at the same time, you can bet that we're going to stay on the air and pass along these warnings to you, because this is an evolving situation. So this is where the new warning has been issued by the National Weather Service. Can we zoom in a little bit more on this polygon, if you will, and we can talk about it again, what communities. Cameron, we've talked about that community already a couple times because you were kind of overlapped in a tornado warning that was previously in effect, but now the Bath area, you are officially under the tornado warning down towards Camp Bell. We're talking Savona as well. These areas are where the current tornado warning in effect till 3:30. And again, I believe this is Doppler radar indicated.
Yes, it is.
Doppler radar indicated. So again, it means that the Doppler radar has indicated rotation. There has not been a confirmation of a tornado, but we need to take these warnings seriously. You need to go to your safe area. If you're in Cameron, West Cameron, Thurston, Savona, Campbell, Sonora, Meads Creek, all those areas under the new tornado warning. This in effect until 3:30, the storm moving off towards the northeast at about 30 miles an hour. Connor, you want to take it over for a second here?
Sure.
Here's
And
the
something,
clicker.
something I definitely want to mention here. The folks down in Norman, Oklahoma, at the Storm Prediction Center also indicated, this is a long haul event, at least for the next 1 to 3 hours. More of these discrete supercell thunderstorms forming that are capable of producing a tornado. And again, right here, this newest warning stretching from the town of Cameron up towards around the edge of the town of Hornby, stretching past Interstate 86, Route 415 as well, and Route 226. Those are the main thoroughfares affected by this area. And again, we'll zoom out just a little bit to show you where we're at right now with the warnings. It looks like we have a we have a warning forming right now. Is this down in Tioga County right here? So the northwest corner of Tioga County. If we could get a closer look at that, perhaps to maybe try to get a handle on the communities here that were being affected. So Westfield, Osceola, Elkland, areas along PA State Route 45, Azelta, Chatham along State Route 249. Now this new warning now issued in effect until 3:15. This is Tioga County, Pennsylvania. And again, look at the shape of this polygon, mainly angled from southwest to northeast. That's the direction that these storms are moving, capable of producing a tornado potentially. And yes, like I said, this warning was just issued in addition to now the one that we had just talked about here in Steuben County. Now this looking to move over parts of Interstate 86, northern edge here, Bath, down towards the southern edge, around just outside of what looks like Painted Post. So again, we're continuing to track this system, these whole cells here, and we've had all of these tornado warnings stretching almost looks like from the coast there of Lake Ontario all the way down to the state line, down further south into Pennsylvania. And this line of storms extends beyond just the state line here. It goes further down in terms of what we're seeing in terms of a full-on lines of thunderstorms. These are stretching down further beyond parts of our region, down towards State College, Pennsylvania, and some of these discrete cells actually going all the way down towards the state of Maryland. So we're in it for the long haul here. We've got not just, of course, tornado warnings, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings, high winds, heavy downpours, lots of lightning impacting the region. We're continuing to track these as they move on here. So right here, here's this line in front, again, stretching from just east of Rochester all the way down beyond our viewing area, down further towards the Interstate 80 corridor. And again, right here, here's the newest issued warning in Tioga County, Pennsylvania. It's dealing with this cell to the north here in Bath, further north, still in that northwestern corner, northern portions of Steuben County, just to the east of Dansville now, as we see a lot of communities now around Seneca Lake starting to feel these storms, especially this larger cell to the north going towards Waterloo and Geneva. But taking it back down, we see once again this area in Bath. That cell particularly, that was the one, and then correct me if I'm wrong, that was the one that we were tracking the pretty tight rotation around
in the Hornell, just passing through Hornell, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to bring it back to meteorologist Catherine Schwam here with me now. A lot of people asking about the future of these storms. What's going to happen to communities in Elmira, Ithaca, Watkins Glen, people further east than the tornado warnings we're having currently?
Currently, we've been seeing these systems move through right now parts of Steuben County. I want to take these graphics full again, and if we can we pull up radar? And let's take a bigger look at this whole picture if possible. If Joe, I believe you're working on that right now, we're going to take the graphics a little bit bigger so we can talk about this. It's spanning all the way from Rochester down into Williamsport, and you can see that line. And take a look at how many thunderstorm warnings we have here on that warning going into the afternoon hours. We are going to continue our coverage into about 3:30 p.m. So right now we are watching this line all the way from Rochester down to Williamsport. I want to close in though on our area, taking a look at that line. So you can see we do have numerous tornado warnings. Right now, let's talk about the one in Tioga County, Pennsylvania that just got issued. This one goes until 3:15 p.m. I'm taking a look at my watch, 2:50. So you guys have about 25 minutes still left in this tornado warning. What we are tracking is some radar indicated rotation heading through Westfield. We have another one up towards the Bath area that's included in that one. Goes until 3:30 p.m. for in Steuben County. Can we close in and actually look at the line fully, and let's time it out to the east so people who are in Watkins Glen, Elmira, can we do that really quick if possible, Joe? Thank you very much. And we're just getting that timed out for you guys. So we're going to time this out going to the north and east. So as this line progresses on Potter, about 2:59 p.m., you should start to see this. Jerusalem, 3:05. Penyan, get ready about 3:15 again. The next half hour or so, you will be seeing this as well. Corning, again, the next 45 minutes, you should be seeing this system moving towards your area as well. For Hector, 3:38 p.m., 3:40 for Watkins Glen. Guys, it's summertime. A lot of people are out on their boats on Seneca Lake or maybe enjoying this heat. For those of you maybe up at Seneca Lake enjoying your summer vacation, just be prepared. We do have this line of thunderstorms headed our way. Horseheads, 3:55 p.m. and 3:55 p.m. for Horseheads and 3:59 for Elmira. We're going to continue our coverage going into 3:30 p.m. for that tornado warning. For now, though, I'm going to send it over to Kurt Martone and Chief Meteorologist Joe Veras.
Yeah, Joe, you just saw meteorologist Catherine Schwalm track out those storms for us. Does that mean those communities are sure to get tornado warnings, or?
Any one thunderstorm that develops this afternoon will have the capability of rotating.
Okay.
It's just because the environment is the way it is this afternoon that there's such instability in place thanks to the heat and humidity. But that's only two parts of the equation. The third part of the equation is the directional wind shear. And that has to do with really the remnants of Beryl. And the center of that storm is north and west of Lake Ontario, but it's got a fairly large circulation associated with it. Had a warm front come through earlier this morning. The cold front still to follow later on this evening. It's not until that cold front will sweep through, probably around sunset or shortly thereafter, and that we'll start to see things quieting down. But we're in that sector, again, between the warm front and the cold front, and that's usually the most unstable part of an area of low pressure. And we got the directional wind shear in play as well. And that's why almost every one of these thunderstorms are going on to produce tornado warnings.
Yeah, so it seems like this is going to be a long afternoon for our communities here.
I mean, unfortunately, that way. Now, we're streaming this live. Again, if you're watching in front of your TV and, there may not be anything going on in your area just yet, it may be headed your way later on this afternoon. Now's the time to charge the cell phone or any devices when you still have power, because you don't know, as these storms come through, there's capable of producing wind gusts in excess of 60, 70 miles an hour, certainly enough to down tree limbs or result in power outages. So again, if you're watching this right now and nothing's happening in your community, make sure you're charging your devices, because again, if power goes out, you can still see our broadcast through the WENY app. So if you download the WENY app and click on weather, you can see us streaming this information. So it's not just over TV, it's through our social media outlets as well.
Yeah, and we